There's a threat to AI that humans can't even see.
There are some blind spots for models and agents, but those blind spots are not for human. So human cannot find those vulnerable regions. For example, for some jailbreak or prompt injection, for human, they can be recognized.
Professor Bo Li is one of the pioneers of AI security, whose groundbreaking work on trustworthy AI and machine learning spans robustness, privacy, and generalization. Now she's breaking down the essential steps for AI security.
If some company, for example, now only focus on red teaming or only focus on guardrail protection, then you cannot close this loop. Some of the company only focus on hallucination or only focus on privacy. You cannot just say optimize one perspective. So I think all these three perspectives, like end-to-end red teaming guardrail, comprehensive risk coverage, and advanced AI technology are very important.
And the threats? They're unlike anything we've seen before.
For a lot of risks, jailbreak, prompt injection, these types of attacks, it even don't exist in the traditional cybersecurity systems. You still need AI native technology to train your security purpose-built models. And the gateway will just run in the backend to check prompt level, action level, and network level behavior and ensure their agent is compliant with their security policy, rules, and requirements.
The solution? A firewall for AI.
A firewall for cybersecurity, and now it's a firewall for AI systems. For the agent builders, they still need the authenticated third party to help them focus on the risk assessment and the protection, etc., so that they can focus on their own innovations.
What do you think about this field will look like from 3 years, from 5 years?
So I do think.
Today we're joined by Professor Bo Li, co-founder and CEO of Virtual AI and one of the world's leading researchers in trustworthy machine learning and AI security. She is a professor at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign and a recipient of MIT Technology Review's Innovators Under 35. She's an Alfred P. Sloan Research Fellow, an honor awarded to exceptional early career scientists shaping the future of their fields. Professor Li's research has shaped how we understand adversarial attacks, robustness, privacy, and the evaluation of large language models. Her team's work, from physical adversarial stop signs to the award-winning DecodingTrust framework, has become foundational to how academia, industry, and government assess AI safety today. Across academia, policy, and industry, she's defining what it means to build AI systems we can trust. What happens when AI systems gain memory, tools, and the ability to act before we know how to secure them? In this conversation, Professor Li explains why AI security has reached a critical inflection point. As models evolve into autonomous agents, the attack surface expands beyond prompts to actions, workflows, and entire systems. Drawing from years of adversarial ML research and real-world red teaming with organizations like OpenAI and major enterprises, she highlights a key insight: securing individual models isn't enough. AI must be protected at the system level, with security designed in from the start. From sandboxing agents to real-time guardrails, Professor Li outlines what it will take to deploy AI safely at scale and how defenders can begin to catch up. Let's begin. Please subscribe and turn on notification so you never miss the next one.
You have a fantastic career both in research and now become a CEO of a startup. And I want to start from the early days of your career. You mentioned about you were doing research in AI security. And in fact, you did it very early on, before this field became hot. And what made you decide to choose this field as your main research area?
Yeah, that's a great question and a very interesting story. So my PhD started back in 2011. Yeah, it's a long time back, even before deep neural networks, right? So at that time, AI security is not a very as now popular and fancy word. It's more like a small area focused on algorithmic analysis, theoretical analysis. And at that time, I'm really interested in security and also really interested in AI. So my advisor told me, there is a area called adversarial machine learning at that time, mainly focused on game theoretical analysis, understanding the optimization between attacker, defender, how to optimize their interactions, etc. So at that time, I think it's really interesting, although it's not one of the hottest area at that time, but I do believe it should be important as AI growing. I didn't expect it's growing so fast now, but I do believe it will grow so that I formally chose that area. And then a very interesting story, after 2011, and as we know, 2013 gets popularized and gets the first award in ImageNet computation, then deep neural network starts.
Yeah.
And then all of the sudden, people are using deep neural networks in different areas, and of course, security problems race. And then I think back in 2018, we have this first physical adversarial stop sign, because at that time, one of the most popular AI application is autonomous driving, right? Image recognition and analysis and autonomous driving. So at that time, we provide this a physical stop sign with some stickers on it, which is optimized, so that when autonomous driving drive towards the stop sign, then it will not stop because they misrecognize that as a speed limit sign 45. So that's what we call so-called targeted attack. So that's very interesting. That's back in 2018. And now, as we know, we have GenAI, chatbot, agent, and it suddenly opened up much wider adversarial surfaces. So it becomes one of the hottest area. Very exciting.
How does it feel like that a technology that you help to create from the lab now eventually land in the industry? And so that's my first question. The second thing is like, when did you decide that you want to join this force and actually want to join the industry?
It's a very fun journey so far. So basically, at the beginning, of course, from the algorithmic perspective, we analyze, the best optimal strategies of attacker, defender, and derive equilibrium, etc. So that has been very interesting from the research perspective. But also, over time, we find our algorithm can help real-world applications. For example, when I was doing research back at UIUC, our algorithm helped being developed for say IBM Watson to help ensure their audio systems are secure, and also our algorithm have been integrated in Apple system. They mentioned that leverage our privacy preserving algorithm to protect their system privacy. And we have also some other algorithms adopted by the other industry collaborators. So at that time, we have seen some real world impact of our algorithm and research, which has been really exciting. And then, therefore, for the later on, when the AI applications and algorithms have been even more widely adopted, we decide, to your second question, we think we should build a unified platform rather than just build algorithm for A and algorithm for B, so that we should have a platform solution for everyone who can build AI or want to use AI. They can enjoy the unified protection for their AI systems. That's exactly why and when we think it's the best timing last year, when AI have more and more mature applications. We think, okay, it's important and right timing, and we build the company so that this unified platform can benefit everyone at scale.
Gotcha. So you started with doing a lot of research approach to handle each individual cases, but then later you realize it's actually very important to have this platform, and you started virtual AI to just help people to build that platform and help people to handle those things.
Exactly. Yeah. So it can be more scalable.
Scalable. Yeah. I also realized that a lot of founding team founders also have academic background. How did you find your co-founders?
So all our co-founders know each other for over 10 years actually. We know each other during research. We do research in similar area, different perspectives. Together we have 4, and Dan and Carlos are actually a serious entrepreneur. They have their own startup even before the Gen AI, so they have a lot of experience in this area, and we discuss this all the time. And Sammy and I know each other for more than 10 years, working research together, and therefore we kind of 4 people together form as kind of like a holistic skill set for our
You have customer coming to you before you even incorporate. I assume it was through the research collaboration.
Yes.
Some industry companies knows this and reach out to you.
Yes.
Do you have any examples of them?
Yeah, some example. For example, for our early collaboration with OpenAI,
That's cool. When was that?
I think it's earlier last year that we say, okay, can we do red teaming for them as a third party?
Yeah.
So that we start our red teaming. And as you can see from like say early stage, like O1 and GPT-4o, at that stage, the system model card on the red teaming section, you will see virtual AI there. That's when our collaboration starts at early time.
Yeah, so I think it's amazing that you have OpenAI as your early customers, and that's a really great start. And I also heard that as a big company, they serve for billions of people. Red teaming for them must be a very challenging task.
So our red teaming is like a unified automated red teaming, in addition to, people have like a human red teaming, etc. Because we believe, first of all, from the cost perspective, automated red teaming is very important so that it can be repeatable, can, run thousands of tests at one time, etc. And second of all, a lot of, as we do research in AI security for a long time, a lot of attack strategies need to be automated, optimized, because as you know, there are some blind spots for models and agents, but those blind spots are not blind spot for human, so that human cannot find those vulnerable regions. For example, for some jailbreak or prompt injection, human cannot think of them because for human they can be recognized. Therefore, we need the algorithmic automated red teaming to red team the AI models and systems so that it can uncover their own corner cases and blind spots.
I want to also dive deeper as you are doing both your research and startup is about AI security. And so from what your perspective is, what is the main difference between AI security versus traditional cybersecurity?
Yeah, great question. So for cybersecurity, it focuses on the cyber systems, which can be layered as network and software and etc. However, for AI security, you definitely need an AI native platform, as we discussed, because a lot of attacks targeted on AI systems, such as prompt injections, jailbreak, etc., hallucination, they even do not exist in traditional cybersecurity systems. So that we need to deeply understand AI, understand their vulnerabilities, and then provide the corresponding AI security, risk analysis, and the security guardrail protection. That's very important. Yeah.
The AI security has a lot of the unique characteristics, and like you mentioned earlier, you want to build a platform to enable others to really build AI safely. From your perspective, what is your vision of virtual AI?
So for virtual AI is that because virtual AI provides a unified platform to protect security, privacy, like say compliance for all AI applications. So basically for every piece of AI software, no matter it's a chatbot or an agent or multi-agent system, you should have virtual AI surrounded to provide the kind of like AI firewall or AI security protection so that they can go to like market and deploy securely and with confidence. For example, another analogy is that you can think of virtual AI as a parallel networks for AI, so that any AI applications, you should have a virtual software to protect it. That's our clear vision and where we are running towards.
So the whole market is also evolving very, very rapidly. And I'm also curious your perspective of the competitive landscape for virtual AI.
Yeah, so in this area, actually, it's very hot because it's, as I mentioned, like it's the critical last mile for AI, so that everyone is, building AI security layer from different perspectives. So currently, there are a lot of companies focused on AI security. I would say some of them focus on hallucination, some of them focus on privacy, etc. But to me, I think there are several unique things for AI security company to win. For example, from virtual perspective. First of all, we provide this end-to-end red teaming risk assessment to guardrail protection platform, which I believe is very important because if some company, for example, now only focus on red teaming or only focus on guardrail protection, then you cannot close this loop. For example, for AI especially, it's very unique. So if you do red teaming, you find, say, oh, your model will or your chatbot will leak sensitive information. If you don't provide corresponding protection, you cannot just give this report to another company to provide the protection, because they need to understand the red teaming process and where is the problem, and therefore correspondingly fix it. Vice versa, like if you only do guardrail and then you do not have red teaming, you cannot keep your protection up to date about against, let's say, zero-day vulnerabilities. So I think first of all, this end-to-end platform solution is very important. And second of all, the broad coverage of the security, safety, compliance categories are very important. So for some of the company, as we mentioned, for example, only focus on hallucination or only focus on privacy. But from the AI perspective, it's enabled by a core model, core agent, etc. So you cannot just say optimize one perspective, because in that way, even you don't touch other perspective, if you say fine-tune a model for hallucination purpose, and then other perspective will be hurt. So that you have to have a holistic view. Rather than traditional cyber systems, you can break them down into pieces, right? So that's again why AI native security platform is important. So that's a second perspective. And third perspective is that you still need an AI native technology to train your security purpose built models, train your agent, and generate your data, because the data generation in security is very challenging, because all those data are on the long tail distribution, right? So that if you just collect real world data, it's not enough, because those sensitive data are on the long tail. So you have to have a particular data generation pipeline to generate those challenging data, kind of like the red teaming, to enable your model training and agent training to do the protection. So I think all these three perspectives, like end-to-end red teaming guardrail, comprehensive risk coverage, and advanced AI technology to build an AI security product are very important. So among this, from the competitive landscape perspective, I don't think many people are focused on these three things yet. So I do think these are maybe some, sharing about the experience for everyone. And these are what Virtual AI is focused on as well.
I have one follow-up question related to that, because early on you mentioned about the like Cloud or Anthropic or Google also released the agents API, and there's overall trend that people are providing, like this model providers started providing more all-in-one solutions for agent builders. What is your take that if they started to also integrating with some AI safety solutions as part of the SDK?
So from the security perspective, you always need an authenticated third party. Just like you build a software, every software company has some security solutions because they need to make sure their software is secure, right? But still, they need to, when people buy their software, they need to buy a firewall, need to buy a security solution, because you do need additional third party security protection layer. So similar here, I believe all these API toolkits, etc., they will have certain level of security protection. It cannot be naked, right? But overall, when you leverage the toolkit or the ADK to build your agent, you need a third-party protection on top of it, because when you build for different use cases and when you tune the models or etc., there will be additional vulnerabilities for your scenarios and use cases, so that also you need an authenticated third party to protect your security. So that's one thing. And second thing is that in terms of the customization. So when you build the agent using the ADK, for example, you actually adapt it to certain use cases, like say email reading, for example, or coding assistant, or whatever, like a database access, etc. So for all those things, you need additional, say, policy following, like a compliance and particular, prompt injection jailbreak for those scenarios, so that you need the corresponding protection for those in terms of customization. Therefore, you still need, for example, a platform like Virtual AI to provide you the customized security protection layer.
Yeah. You actually mentioned such an interesting point about there is always a need of a third-party vendors for security, which I also observed the exact same trend. Like in the Google, I recently was implementing Google Gmail API, and they redirected to a third party to provide the certificate, and but they don't do it. There's also a credibility here, like people not necessarily trust Google or trust big companies.
Yeah, I think it's natural. Either it's big company or small company, but if you build your own product and then you say, I protect my own product, there is a trust issue here, right? So you have to say, I build my product, I do my best to protect my product, but I have my third party to protect my product as a authenticated, objective view, which is definitely very important.
Yeah. That's a very smart move. And actually, that question that answers a lot of questions people would have about for any complaint. They will talk about what if Google does it or Anthropic does it, and in your cases, they actually need you as a partner.
Yes, I think security, that's a unique part for security. Every piece of software or every piece of AI application need the third-party security as a partner to protect them as a holistic, solution.
Exactly, yeah. And I want to also dive into more about the details for the solutions that virtual AI provides. And you mentioned one example of that. Any like basically agent developers is operating based on certain assumptions of how application works. And when they use the SDK, even use the MCP, there are certain assumptions associated with it. From your perspective, you mentioned about a gateway as one of the mechanisms you will integrate with the agent developers. What are the other possible ways that you think about you can use to provide this security support to the agent developers?
So first of all, we have multiple products to provide agent security. For example, Gateway is one which integrate. We call it a gateway because it's easy to be used by enterprises.
Yeah.
And in it has multiple layered protection, including we mentioned like say MCP guard, meaning that whatever MCP tool they call, we will scan the call, scan the tools inside, etc. So that we can identify whether there is vulnerabilities, CVEs, or prompt injection jailbreaks in these MCP tools. That's one thing. Second is we provide the action level, prompt level, network level, monitoring and protection, kind of like a multi-layered guardrail. And the third is we provide this management in terms of access control and all this resource control, role control, etc. to ensure the agent, manage usage is under control in a big organization. So that's one thing for the MCP gateway perspective or agent gateway. We also provide a platform to provide additional automated red teaming environment to protect risk assessment agent. For example, the challenge for this is that for agents, you need a sandbox to run it because you don't want it to, have the consequence in real world. But then agent is so dynamic so that you will have lots of different environment the agent can interact with. For example, website, email, like Slack and Zoom, all these things. And therefore, we need to build a big sandbox with all the simulated environment inside so that those agents can, use. So that's another piece from the product perspective that's we can protect and provide the security layer for the agent builders. But eventually, I think the principle is that you always need another, either it's an agent or it's an observer, like a protection tools to observe every step and the action planning of your agent so that they can be protected after you build your capabilities.
Yeah. So the other product you mentioned about the sandbox is also very interesting. I know sandbox now has become a very essential concept for agent builders, especially I think from the earlier the year, the Mana started to have these like browsers in the agent. Now everyone is like computer use, browser use, they all run in some certain type of sandbox. And from your perspective, it's like you mentioned about you are providing this special sandbox in which that agent can operate in the sandbox, and you can both provide guardrails and also give some support, like audits of the activities done by the agent. So is your sandbox more like a browser, more like a computer? Like how would people understand like the way to use your sandbox? sandbox?
Yeah, including all the environment you just mentioned.
So
it
everything
needs to
like
be
computer,
comprehensive. Yeah, computer use, like you call the computer apps,
Yeah.
etc., or browser interactions, or other tools like Slack, email, and all these different things. So we include all these environments, like a simulated environment in our sandbox, because as you know, the agent now, if you only provide a limited environment, it's not enough to test the agent or perform risk assessment for the agent. So you have to provide a comprehensive environment. And therefore, for example, computer use, web interactions and the GUI interaction, terminal to environment, all these things we support so that when the agent come in, they can pick their, usage environment and then do the corresponding risk assessment and evaluation.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, it's most convenient for agent builder. I assume that means a lot of work from your side, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but very exciting. So I think that's the first environment with first sandbox with all this environment for agentic world.
So having the protection layer for the AI agent is very, 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 very important. And I'm wondering that for an AI agent developers nowadays, like if they want to develop agents and if they are interested about virtual AI, how would they start to leverage in your system to protect them?
That's a very good question in terms of from the integration perspective, right? So we optimize our product to be very easy to be integrated. For example, it can be SaaS or on-premise. And then, for example, if you have an agent, say it's an MCP-based agent. So our agent protection can be as simple as agent MCP gateway as another MCP server connect to their agent so that every other MCP calls or like a tool calling, etc., our agent gateway will provide corresponding MCP scanning to check whether the tools they called is secure or not. And the action guard, meaning all the action trajectories of that agent planned and conducted will be identified as whether it's secure or risky or not. And thirdly, we also provide the corresponding management, like say access control for tools and for MCP servers for different like data sources, so that basically it's very easy, like say, given the AI agent developer, once they develop their agent, they can just connect a virtual agent gateway, and that's all. And the gateway will just run in the backend to check multi-layered protection, for example, prompt level, action level, and network level behavior, and ensure their agent is compliant with their security policy and also compliant with their defined rules and requirements.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you provide this gateway to basically check all the actions and the like the planning or the tools that agent is using. And for this gateway, to help like also our audience to understand, is that it's like a network gateway, it's like an API that agent developed.
It is a gateway for MCP tools. It's kind of like a network gateway, but now analogy is a gateway for agents.
A gateway for agents.
Yeah.
But then when they will send the traffic to your gateways, and then you will route that traffic into
we'll look at multi-layers. For example, we'll look at the prompts, what has been sent and what the agent has done. The actions, like what the actions say, whether the agent will call another website or the agent will call another tool or the agent will send an email or something. All these actions will be monitored. And also the network layer, as you said, like the traffic, because for some of the behaviors or risky content, it may not exactly appear on the prompt and action level. Therefore, we need to look at the network level to make sure what package they send, whether the payload has, suspicious content in it, etc. So it's kind of like a multi-layered protection, which I do believe is very important. And to be honest, I haven't seen any like related comprehensive multi-layered protection for agent on the market yet. And that's also why we believe our product is advanced and we'll continue focus on building it to protect the current and also future agentic systems.
I wonder that after because we like the agent developer will send the traffics to your gateways and you will do all this analysis. So if you detect some attacks or something like that, you will block the call, or would you, what is the actions you will take and what information you will provide to the developers to continue to improve?
So we make it relatively flexible so that people can config themselves. For example, they can decide based on the severity of the actions and etc. so that they can decide based on what criteria those will be blocked directly, or based on what criteria they will not block, but they will log out, so that people like the auditor or someone afterwards can offline check and help analyze these behaviors and systems, so they can decide and config based on different levels.
Yeah. So that's a really, really flexible, configurable system.
Yes.
And from your perspective, who are your ideal customers?
So basically, everyone who are building AI applications, for example, who are training models, who are building chatbots by calling models, or who are building their own agents by calling models, etc., they are all our ideal customer, because our goal is security for AI. So any AI pieces or applications or agent, VirtualAI will provide this corresponding protection layer so that it can reduce your time to market, it can gain your confidence for your customers, or it can also provide you, say, security, like third-party authentication.
Yeah. So basically, like what I have is like agent developers, like agent application developers. Yeah.
And model builders, chatbot builders, etc. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I know a lot of the agent builders now leveraging frameworks like Longchains, like other frameworks. So do you integrate with those frameworks, so they get yours kind of for free when they use those frameworks, or they have to integrate separately with you?
What I observe is that for one enterprise, they will not only use one framework. For example, they may use like, framework A for this, and then like other framework, like say for coding assistant, and other framework for workflow agent, and they have multiple. Therefore, it's very important to, again, have this unified security protection so that you don't need to say, oh, for agent A, I need this protection, agent B, I need this protection. So it's a protection over different types of agent frameworks and agent capabilities.
Gotcha. Yeah. You also mentioned about that a lot of your customers are enterprise customers. And when you initially build a component finding customers, how did you find those enterprise customers?
It's both from inbound and outbound. For example, from inbound perspective, because our team actually have been working this area for a long time from the research perspective, so people actually know our work. For example, I meet a lot of customers. They are like a chief AI officer or CIO, CTO. They usually say, "Oh, our group read your papers on this," and etc. So it's naturally have the trust, and they come to us say, "Oh, we have this problem. Can you help us to solve?" Right? For example, one example is that there is an audio company who have their own unique scenario. For example, they don't want to generate audio like, say, children voice plus sexual content, or certain celebrity plus certain political topic, for example. And in this case, they come to us say, "Oh, can you use your red teaming and the guardrail protection algorithm to help us identify those problems from our system and also protect against them?" So this is a very interesting scenario. So we directly started the collaboration. And of course, we have a lot of outbound as well, like our sales team will outreach to people who have similar persona. As you said, whoever is building AI applications and agent will ask whether they have security concerns. Of course, everyone has the security concerns, depends on which stage they are, so that we will start the engagement for customer outreach.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you both leveraged your research reputations and can get a lot of leads from the research communities, as well as your team can do outreach and leverage the kind of credibility of the whole team to get the customers. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Yeah. So the second question I have is that finding the enterprise customers, serve them, and make sure they get a value and are willing to pay is very hard for enterprise as well. As a researcher turned entrepreneurs, what is the biggest takeaway you have as you go through the whole journey?
I think that has been quite fun and I learned a lot. And I think all the people are continually learning because every sector, every piece of software, every offering are slightly different. So I think that has been a very fun journey so far. So concretely, for example, from enterprise, I think usually first thing is that you need to navigate their problem. For example, what are they building and what's their key concerns currently. Everyone has slightly different concerns, but usually they are aligned. For example, all of them care about jailbreaks and prompt injection, hallucination, and privacy leakage, these types of problems, right? So these are very common. But some of them, maybe they have different modalities and different, use cases. And for example, for retail, really worry about brand risks. And for other regulated sectors, they care about other, particular regulation, security compliance. So based on this, actually, you need to next step navigate what's concrete offering and value you provide to them. And of course, we'll do POC and understand whether and how compatible with their system, help them navigate it, and eventually, as you know, in enterprise is a long cycle in terms of paperwork and all these things. But every step is, I think, very interesting in terms of new knowledge and new experience for us. So that has been exciting.
That's cool. Yeah, sounds very exciting experience. How many customers do we have now?
I think currently we have more than 30 enterprise customers focused on different use cases.
Yeah. Do you have any examples of that, the different industries of customers? Like you mentioned, you work with OpenAI.
I see. So you mean different sectors of the
sectors
enterprise
of your customers? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I think we focus on currently finance, IT, retail, and leading research labs. So for these different sectors, they have quite interesting focus, but also very repeatable pattern. For example, for finance, of course, they care about, as we discussed, jailbreak, prompt injection, and also they have their own, some policies they need to follow and make sure their agent and their chatbot should comply with. For example, FINRA is one, types of policy in finance and everyone want to comply with. Yeah. So I think one interesting experience sharing with everyone here is that once you dig into one sector and go inside into one or two use cases, I find it, at least for us, is very repeatable because everyone care about similar concerns and compliance issues, etc. So it definitely worth to dig into the sector. So for example, for finance, we have several banks working with us together. On our website, we also have our case studies and webinars talking with their, say, chief AI officer about why they select virtual AI to protect them in terms of high capability, low latency, and all these are the metrics they mentioned, which we find very helpful for us to further improve our product. And second sector is IT, like ServiceNow, Glean, and Zoom, and all these types of IT services, because they are very advanced in terms of AI technologies, which is great. And of course, all the AI technologies they build have security concerns because of the nature of the models itself, so that will provide corresponding protection. And the third is retail. Retail is pretty interesting. For example, they really care about brand risk in addition to the risks that other prompt injection, jailbreak, and hallucination, etc. So for them, it's relatively unique, and we can identify those brand risk intent and the consequences, and then help them to protect it.
That's cool. So you have very diverse sectors as well, and identify the top sectors as well. And you have achieved amazing progress. When did the company was incorporated?
I think it's early last year. Now it's about 2 years.
Just 2 years, you achieved so many great things, like more than 30 enterprise customers. Usually now cycle is very, very long, more than 6 months or a year, and across different sectors. And also you did amazing series, fundraising, 30 million Series A led by Lightspeed. That is also incredible. And we'd love to hear your founding story.
That has been a very interesting journey. I think earlier from Lightspeed, we really liked them, and actually their partner James and Gru, who has been in this cyber area for a long time, very experienced, reached out to us. I think at that time James,
when was that?
earlier this year, like
in
January or something. Yeah, January 2025. Yeah. So basically, James himself is very technical. He read all these like papers and technical reports, etc. So he saw our virtual AI under the system model card in OpenAI system model card, so that he actually reached out, say, oh, let's have a chat. So we have a chat, and we find that our vision and our value aligned very well, and they also help a lot from different resource and the hiring and all this different perspectives, which as a small team we do need these types of help. So I think it's a natural collaboration between virtual and Lightspeed, and then we start the round, I think, quite smoothly. And now I'm still learning a lot from our collaborator from Lightspeed, like Guru and James, and they help a lot. Yeah.
That's cool. So were you thinking about fundraising, or they reached out to you, just like made you start to think about fundraising?
Yeah, we were thinking, and we haven't started our actual fundraising yet, and they reach out. And usually I think in Silicon Valley, that's the good part here, right? I think VCs are very technical, proactive, and they look for good opportunities. And we already have several conversations with different VCs who have already reached out us. But eventually we find Lightspeed, as I mentioned, their value and mission are very aligned. So we naturally collaborate together.
Yeah. So from your perspective, what are the key reasons you think they invest on you?
I think first of all, definitely technology side. So from the technology side, we are providing an AI native AI security platform, which is very unique and comprehensive compared with many other related products. So I think that's the first thing very important to them. And second of all, as you know, all our core founding team have deep understanding and also relationship in this AI security area. So that is very helpful from the business side. I think thirdly, some of their own portfolio companies at that time are also our customers. So they also hear good things and feedback from them. I think in this case, we build mutual trust and confidence. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. And like you mentioned, you actually a lot of great things you have done naturally spread the words for you. Both your academic influence, both the words from your customers, their portfolio. And in fact, this is how Silicon Valley works. Like if you do great work, naturally VCs will know it. And related to that, I know that you have very strong academic network in the companies, both your co-founders, as well as you have a strong advisor list of advisors. How do you think having this academic influence plus advisors help in your fundraising processes?
Yeah, because our company is a big believer about technology, right? So we build product, but all our product are backed by our fundamental research. We believe in this area, especially AI and AI security. If you don't have your deep technology mode, it will not go very far, right? Like for example, for all the leading AI labs, they do have good technology, and they are still working very hard to, dig into the technology side. That's why in our team we actually have a lot of, well-known and good researchers who think deep and provide fundamental, breakthrough research technologies in this area. Therefore, our products are built upon this fundamental understanding and technology. So I do think so far from our feedback of the customers, we'll also see that this deep technology helps a lot for our customers and for our product offering.
Yeah, that's awesome. And actually, that's a natural transition to the next topic. Like you did this amazing sandbox, and that means a lot of work that you need to do. How big is the team?
Yeah, we have more than 30 people currently. And everyone work like more than one person and dedicate, because we all have the similar mission and vision, so that everyone are very excited in this area. I think to us, it's not only kind of like a job or something. It's mainly like something we really want to build and make impact. Yeah.
How the team is organized?
Yeah, we have most engineer currently, like basically member of technical staff who have strong AI and AI security background. So we design product together and we build like our core ML engine, and then on top of it, we have engineer build more product and polish integration, polish deployment for different enterprise usage.
If you summarize like your team culture, how would you summarize it?
Yeah. So one word is that I would say like a technical advances and building. So basically, we all are very collaborative, and everyone talk to each other about what works, what doesn't work, and then we build together in terms of the best AI like security models and also AI security pipelines. So basically, yeah, our summary is that advanced technology first, and we collaborate and build together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, a lot of our audiences are looking for joint startup as well. Are you hiring?
Yes, we are very actively hiring. So if anyone is interested in ML, AI, agent, and especially agent security with strong, AI background, please reach out to us. We are very happy to, discuss together.
Wow, that's a very, very exciting journey. And like you mentioned, you started very early on, before the 2012, the AlexNet bring computer vision to be the mainstream. Later, you mentioned about there was a whole era in which everyone is talking about autonomous driving, and of course now everyone's talking about large language models. Even there's already 3 stages of AIs since you started AI security. So, from a practitioner of AI security, and what is the experience look like as a person who work on this field before all these applications was even a thing? And then they become hot, they become less hot, a new thing become hot again. So what is the thing that is make AI security so consistent over all these trends of AI?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So basically, I see that with AI capability developed continuously and very fastly, even exponentially, we see these adversarial services grow as fast or sometimes even faster. Because as you know, when say, as you said, like deep neural network applied for autonomous driving, then everyone start to think what's vulnerabilities. And of course, there is a high incentive for adversaries to manipulate those models and algorithms so that they can get, economic or any like benefits from it. I think the next stage is like when the model become more and more capable, say larger and larger deep neural network, and now Gen AI and the agents. For example, for agentic systems, there are so many components like core models and the tools and like memories and environment, all these places. Therefore, it gives a big wide door for adversaries to, perform manipulations and things for these systems. So I think the interesting thing that although we are always working on AI security, however, the technologies are different and the thinkings are different. And all the experience in the past are actually helpful for the next stage of, further improve the robustness, resiliency, trustworthiness of the AI systems.
I think from what I hear is that although there's different AI applications, but overall the AI become more and more powerful. So there's actually more service areas for adversary attackers to attack on, which make AI security more important.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I know that your mentioned research area was also focused on how to ensure AI is safe, and you mentioned about adversarial attacks, and you give one example of these stop signs that fool autonomous driving. Do you have other examples of adversary attacks? And for common people, how would they understand adversary attack?
Yeah, very good question. And a lot of such examples that we even cannot enumerate them because unfortunately, it's very easy, I would say, to attack AI system currently. That's why it's very critical and timely to ensure the safety and security of the AI systems. For example, in addition to, say, autonomous driving attack we just mentioned, for Gen AI systems, as we know, the chatbot can leak sensitive information, right? Can hallucinate. And one example we know is like, say, Air Canada, like a month ago, they actually have this hallucinated chatbot customer support, give a wrong information to the customers so that they have to pay for the cost based on the ticket return policy hallucination. That's one example. And recently from the agentic world, as we know, recently there are some agent under even not adversarial usage, just a normal usage, the agent decide to delete their own database, the coding assistant agent.
Yeah,
so,
they're having a strike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, as we know, all these data-driven models, they have their own vulnerability surfaces, so that it's very easy to make mistakes and also very easy to be manipulated. For example, another example is, say, agentic world, right? We usually have an agent, so-called the workflow agent, to help us say, walk me through all my email today and give me the top 10 to-do list, right? And at this time, if you just have one email with one line of prompt injection in it, for example, ask the agent to make a malicious transaction, right? The agent will go through all the emails and then look at that prompt injection and execute it. And then you can imagine how severe it is. Therefore, yes, it's very interesting area, a lot of explorations, and then a lot of algorithms need to be designed to protect such systems.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you gave a lot of fantastic examples. I'm very, very interested about one example you mentioned about analyzing emails and to-dos. By the way, that's what our company is doing, DeVisa is doing. You mentioned about these examples that attackers can send an email that might looks like reasonable, but actually fool the agent to do very harmful things. How exactly would that happen? And why agent is so, on one hand, powerful, but on the other hand, so stupid, it can be fooled by simple email?
Yeah. For example, we all know there are some attacks called prompt injections and jailbreaks, for example. So prompt injection is usually because, as we know, agents are following some instructions and prompts to do their tasks, right? Therefore, if some of the prompts have some misleading or adversarial misleading information, then the agent can follow. For example, the most standard one could be forget about your previous instruction and follow what I said. But of course, the models now are more resilient to these straightforward attacks, and there will be more advanced attack in terms of say, oh, this is really urgent, and there's a scenario I need, etc., such that the agent will be convinced or be deceived so that it can following the instructions. And there is kind of a double side of the sword, because when the agents are more capable to do instruction following, and they may be more able to follow adversarial instruction as well. So that we need to be very careful.
Exactly, yeah. And like you mentioned, that actually is a double-edged sword. As our agent capability gets more and more powerful, it has clearly a stronger capability, but that can be used to do good things, but also can be used by attackers to do the prompt injection. And I'm wondering that for any agent builders who care about they want to prevent the chances of being attacked, what would the top of thing they should keep in mind as they build their agent applications?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think first of all, there are a lot of things to do in terms of making the agentic world, for example, secure and trustworthy. And even so far, it hasn't been done yet. It's continually in the improvement stage and learning stage. So I think for the agent builders, first of all, they need to be aware of such vulnerabilities, right? Second of all, they still need the authenticated third party to help them focus on the risk assessment and the protection, etc., so that they can focus on their own innovations and then have this, say, a firewall, for example, a firewall for cybersecurity, and now it's a firewall for AI systems to protect them, right? And third is they need a AI native AI security platform to protect it, because for a lot of risks, for example, we mentioned jailbreak, prompt injection, these types of attacks, it even don't exist in the traditional cybersecurity systems, so that they are native AI-enabled vulnerability or attacks. Therefore, you do need an AI native platform be able to protect the AI systems at scale.
I want to also hear your perspective about your vision ahead. Like you build an amazing product, help to provide the safety for AI agents. What do you think about this field will look like from 3 years, from 5 years?
So in the past, when I give a talk, I usually give a figure, which is 30 years ago. We have a computer look very naive, and there was a paper called Dub Dub Dub, and after 30 years, as we can see, internet is everywhere. I think similarly for AI and Gen AI technologies, there is a survey like now what's the regions in the world are using Gen AI technologies, etc. But they cannot be fully deployed yet because of the security privacy concerns, as we know. So that we do hope we can, provide this AI security technology automatically and uniformly, so that eventually my vision for this field is that we reach an equilibrium where to a certain level defender will win, right? We will continue to have new attacks, new risks for sure, just like in cyber world, but still the defender with high probability, with most cases, it will win and be able to secure the AI systems so that the AI system can be largely deployed in different regions of the world.
There's always going to be attackers, but we should minimize that to the certain percentage. And what do you think, what do you want virtual AI to play? What role do you want virtual AI to play in this future world?
Yeah, virtual AI will be the security layer for every AI applications.
Yeah. That's cool. That's fantastic visions to have. And what is your plan of growth for virtual AI?
We're largely moving with, as we discussed, the member of technical staff team, so that we can build more technologies and features and products, etc. We're also expanding our sales team. Previously, we are founders-led sales, which has been very fun, and now our cases and offering are very repeatable. So we're also expanding sales teams so that more people can enjoy the technology and the product and offering. So yeah, that's a very standardized plan, but aligned with the fast-moving AI area.
It's really awesome to hear your whole journey from researchers in the AI security field before it become popular, become a field, and now become frontline CEO of a startup that is building the future of AI security. So from your own experiences, what is the biggest takeaway you have along the journey?
Yeah, I do think the biggest takeaway along the journey is that no matter what you do, first of all, do the thing that you're really passionate about. For example, when I chose my research topic, as you mentioned, AI security is not one of the hottest topics at that time, but I'm really interested in it personally, so that I choose it. And eventually, actually, I think everything pays off, and it become important, and I actually achieve get a lot of reward and award from this dedicated journey for AI security research. Second of all, in addition to passion, the deep technology is always very important. No matter you are building, of course, doing research and building product, I think superficial products will not last long enough. You do need to have a product that you believe and also backed by deep technologies and have your deep moat and bring real value to your customers. And at that time, I think we don't need to worry about other things, and the customer will come and they will realize the value, because everyone is smart and everyone is moving fast, so that as long as you provide value, then people will appreciate and you will get your payoff. So that's the 2 cents that overall the journeys and experience and learnings I do think passion and deep technology are the key, at least for me myself, to be here.
Do you have any recommendations of information sources like books, websites, podcasts that you would recommend to our audiences?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say there's a long list of papers from my website, but for people who just want to know this area, get into and learn more, I think at virtual AI website virtualai.com, we have a long list of blogs blogs, and one of the blog is a deep dive for agent security, and there we actually discuss about the vulnerability surfaces of multi-agent system, what's the principles to protect them, and what's the principles behind those red teaming and protection technologies, what's the challenges, what's the potential next steps, which I do think is very interesting and helpful. So hopefully, people who are interested in agent or agent security can take a look at the blog. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story and what you are building. Very, very excited about virtual AI and the future you are building. We're all in a safe place for AI.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Hopefully we can all build a secure AI environment together.
Thank you. Yeah. You actually it's so much fun to have a conversation, and it made me start to think I should check out virtual AI. And
for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the full interview. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one.